Cheers! Welcome to Almost Rich, Almost Famous, back from LA, fresh off the red carpet, in our brand new studios. We've really amped it up.
We really have. It's very fancy in this new spot. Look at these microphones. Like, they're like,
I know,
very official.
I know. We don't have to move them around, adjust them anymore. Like, they're just there to stay. I feel like we manifested it though. We were like, no, we're gonna be on the red carpet, and now that we've experienced this, we're expecting nothing less than high quality things for Almost Rich, Almost Famous.
Well, because we're on our way there. I mean, like, I feel rich every day, and that's like what I have to do in order to continue up this life that I live. But when we were in LA, I actually felt like, I was like, oh, we're like on a red carpet. We have
we're famous.
We're famous.
We are famous.
All right, so let's take it a step back and discuss the ESPYs and all of it.
Because I feel like half the people that are listening are thinking, what the hell are the ESPYs? And the other half are, oh my gosh, you guys were on the red carpet at the ESPYs?
So, you know the people that are saying, what the hell are the ESPYs?
Your friends and family.
Those are my people.
Yeah.
The people that are like, wow, you're so cool, are your people.
Yeah.
Like, my people just don't care about anything that I ever do. I don't know.
When I posted that we were on our way to the ESPYs and what we were doing, the amount of DMs, the amount of texts, people were like, oh my God, I'm so proud of you guys. You've made it. And I'm telling Betsy this. I'm like, yeah, this is so great to hear all this support. Betsy's like, that's so weird. Not one person has said anything to me. They just complimented my pretty selfie.
Yeah. Well, no, people are like, oh, wait, so you're going to be out of town, so we can't get together. I'm like, well,
yeah, but guys,
I'm like, do it, hi. Like, I don't need a lot of praise, but can you just acknowledge? First of all, no one knows what I do in my life. I don't think anyone actually knows what I do. I don't know if anyone even knows I have a podcast, truly, for the most part. Your people are so supportive, and mine are cool. So sports.
But the difference is, Betsy, I talk about it a lot, and I get mad when they don't think it's a big deal. So if I'm like, yeah, I'm going to NBA All-Star, I'm going to the Super Bowl. I'm like, guys, do you realize this is a very big deal? I am going to the ESPYs. So if they don't give me that reaction, I have to really amp it up. I'm like, wow, okay, yep, this is amazing. So you manifest I'm living a rich lifestyle every day.
Yeah.
I just live the famous life. So I just want to let you know, your sister, your friend, your aunt, AKA me, I'm famous, so I don't know what you guys are doing.
Can you connect with my people so they understand what I do for a living? I don't know. Actually, the only stuff I got, no joke, and we'll take it back and we'll start from the beginning, but I just have to say, the only thing I got was, wow, you put makeup on. Wow, you were dressed up. I was like, well, yeah.
And people, for me, I will say, posting it on social media, I was a little disappointed. Didn't get a lot of likes or comments, and then I realized people are sick of seeing me in a gown with my hair and makeup done.
Yeah.
They see it every day when I'm hosting pageants. They're like, wait, what? Yeah. We've never seen this before.
It's actually really funny. Bridget and I talked about this. I was like, for me, it's seeing me dressed up. People are like, wow. What? And for you, would be taking just a photo of yourself. People would be like, wow, she's really feeling herself.
Yeah, posting a selfie, huh? So, mind you, we've been manifesting that we were going to be on the red carpet for the ESPYs, for the Oscars, for the Grammys. We're putting it out there. Get ready. You're going to see us a lot more on the red carpet. Get used to seeing Betsy with makeup on because it's going to happen.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. So we've been talking about it for a while, and it was getting closer and closer, and so it just didn't seem realistic anymore. And Betsy's like, well, I'm going to San Diego to visit my sister. I'm going on a little mini vacay. I'm like, great. I'm going on a cruise the next week. It's just not going to make sense for either of us. Well, then, we get the call 2 days before.
2 days before, I'm already in California.
Yep.
And Bridget's here, and she's like, okay. So we're like, all right, but what? What are we doing? Number one, what's our plan? Mm-hmm. Number two, what are we wearing? Luckily, I am very organized as a person, and I knew it had the potential of happening. And so I ordered myself something online, and I just threw it in my bag. In my bag. Just in case. I didn't know what was going to happen. So I got myself a dress, got myself some stuff to wear, and I threw it in my bag. Who knows? If it happens, great. If it doesn't, whatever.
So meanwhile, I'm here in Cleveland, Ohio. Betsy's in San Diego. We get the confirmation you are credentialed, almost rich, almost famous, live on the red carpet before the ESPYs begin. So me, I'm like, well, I got to call up Henry's Cloud 9. I need to get myself a gown. Texting Betsy. She's like, bitch, are you kidding me? You're going to Henry's and going to get a fancy gown when I just ordered mine off online? I'm like, listen, I'm used to this kind of stuff. Yeah, bye. I'm going to get myself a nice dress.
Not only, did I just buy something offline, I threw it in a bag that I packed for 2 weeks, which, by the way, I need to say this. My bag was 20 pounds overweight, wasn't it?
And literally she asked the guy, like, well, can we just like bypass this? He's like, yeah, if it's like a pound or two. And he's like, yeah, it's 12 pounds over. I can't help you here. But you need to pay an extra $100.
You know, and in these situations, I just want to ask them, like, I'm sorry, sir, are you getting commission off this bag? Like, what do you care? Put a little heavy sticker on it, throw it on the belt. Let's keep it moving.
It actually is.
I had to pay $100 extra, $75 on the way there, $100 on the way back. It's a whole sham.
Well, by the next big event, they're gonna know us and say, like, listen, it's Betsy and Bridget, whatever they want.
Great.
Get them on the plane.
Okay. All right. Perfect.
So I'm like, all right, great. Well, I've got one day. I'm packing for a cruise, but I've got to get to Henry's. So I go and I'm shopping. I'm in this like fancy couture room, trying on all these different gowns, sending photos to Betsy, and she's like, okay, well, can you find something for me in there? Which I did try.
You did try.
Just you're a little shorter than me.
Correct. Yeah. And Henry's carries a very specific size situation also that nothing is stretchy enough for me in there. But anyway, so I was nervous that our outfits weren't going to be cohesive.
Yeah.
They actually were. That ended up working out. But that was truly the least of our worries. Because like, we're like, what are we even doing? Like, we've never even been on a red carpet.
No.
Like, are we talking to people? Like, we didn't know anything.
Do we have a videographer? Do we have like a handler that's going to grab people for us to interview? Are we on our own? Are we setting up a selfie stick? It was a lot.
So I had already, let's rewind a little bit, because I was in California visiting my sister in San Diego. She had just moved, so me and my other sister went, having just like a very nice, relaxed time. I get the call that this is happening. Meanwhile, I am also going to a whole bunch of fucking baseball games.
And I am not happy about it anyways. So now I'm like, now I get to come to California and sit in my hotel room while Betsy goes to the MLB All-Star game and the MLB Home Run Derby. Yeah, cool.
Home Run Derby.
I'm like getting mad about it again.
I know. So I took a partner. As most of you guys know, Bridget and I are also in sales. Yep. And at this point, that's what's paying the bills. Not forever, but right now. And so I took a partner to All-Star in LA. It was fine. It was fine. Like, it was cool.
She's like texting me like, oh my God, I'm staying for one inning and I'm getting out of here. And I'm like, can you just like not complain? As I'm sitting here watching it on TV, like, this is so annoying that Betsy's there. And I'm sitting here so annoyed.
Well, you didn't have to be sitting. I mean, so Bridget and I meet up finally the night before the ESPYs, and it's the day of MLB All-Star. And so I'm like, Bridget, like, I'm only going to stay for a couple innings, like, so we can meet up. Meanwhile, I didn't even know she was like fuming, like, this bitch is only staying for an inning, because I'm thinking, you're so lucky. You can go drink at the hotel bar, and I'm over here chugging Bridget, I have to this White Claw, because truly the only thing they had to drink at Dodger Stadium were beer and White Claws the size of this mic stand. Like, the things were this big. It was like a gallon of White Claw. First of all, no one drinks a fucking White Claw that long that it stays cold in a jug this big and this thick. It was disgusting.
I would have been really into drinking that White Claw, that Bud Light Seltzer, that Truly, whatever they were going to give me in that size if I'm sitting there at the MLB All-Star game. So meanwhile, Betsy's like, oh my God, are you having so much fun? Where are you? Did you go check out that sushi spot? Did you get a bottle of champagne? And I tried. I was like, yeah, I'm in LA. I'm in LA all by myself. I'm going to go explore. No one knows me here. It's fine. Like, it's okay to go sit by myself and have a little snack dinner with some champagne. Betsy, I got all ready. I thought it looked so cute. I go out there and I'm walking and I see the restaurant I want to go into, almost there, and I'm like, I can't do it. No, it's fine. I'll just go to the next one. Then I pass like the sushi spot. I'm like, all right, just go in. It's fine. I'm like, oh my God, there's no one in there. These workers are going to be like, why is this girl all dressed up and sitting here by herself? I'm like, okay, the next one. I went around the block probably 20 times. So after about 45 minutes of walking, now I'm sweating. So ruin the makeup, the hair that I did.
Now you look like a real lunatic. Yeah. Just like circling the block.
Yeah, I was. And so then I go back in the hotel. I'm like, maybe I'll check out the hotel bar. That's pretty normal to sit by yourself there. It was packed. I'm like, well, now I'm going to have to like stand there and like wait for a drink because I don't have a seat. I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to go back up to my room. So I just sat in my hotel room, watched the MLB All-Star game while you enjoyed your giant White Claw.
Well, I wasn't enjoying it. Number one. Number two, I feel like we need to dive into this. Like, what about being by yourself at a bar or a restaurant is so, like, I feel like there's like something psychological behind this. I don't understand what's so weird about. Like,
I don't know. I wish I was different.
What is it that like upsets you about being by yourself? Is it that you have no one to talk to? Like, do you not actually enjoy that alone time? Is it you're thinking about what other people are thinking? Like, what is it that is so bothersome?
I don't know. It's like a weird anxiety nerve that I get. Like, I think it's a good idea until I'm almost there, and then I chicken out. Like, my heart drops to my stomach, like, oh, I can't do it.
Okay, so let me just put this into perspective so people can think about this and so you can think about this. You will go to a Guardians game, right?
Yep.
In your old life, before you were here at ESPN Cleveland, you would go to a Guardians game and hold a microphone.
Yep.
And be in front of, I don't know, however many fans that they have there. How many?
Like 30,000.
Okay, so you're in front of 30,000 people on camera, but you will not go and sit in a bar where you don't know anyone by yourself.
Yeah. Isn't that weird?
Yeah, there is some meaning behind it, and I don't know what it is, but it's just so wild.
What is the big difference, though? Like, you would not want to go on a field and be on a microphone in front of 30,000 people.
Die.
Yeah, okay.
Die.
And I think that's weird. I'm like, well, who would not want to do that? That just seems like the most fun thing anyone could ever want to do. So it's like the same thing.
It is, but it's just so crazy. I mean, like, you know, people have like fears of public speaking. Like, I would say more people side with that fear of public speaking, like talking in front of people. Like, people have to get like actual help doing. There are classes, actual college classes that are dedicated to public speaking because it's so hard for people. You do that in like a second. You're like, yeah, great. Like, you love it.
Do you think there's classes to teach people how to go get like drinks and dinner by themselves?
I feel like you need to start one. Like, it's so crazy. Okay, so I'm drinking this awful White Claw, just having the sweatiest time of my life, just like drenched, just so gross. And you're in the room watching this weird MLB All-Star.
Yep, sure am. And then she says she's leaving. I'm like, yes, okay. Now we're going to reconvene. And so we go to a restaurant. We get our nice bottle of champagne. We're back. Still have the game on TV because Betsy leaves early. Everything's all good. We're forgetting a major hiccup in our whole situation of this ESPYs, though. So we find out we're going. Then it's trying to get travel. It's trying to get our hotel. Then we find out, oh, you have to get a PCR test. Test negative 48 hours prior to the ESPYs, or we're not letting you on the red carpet, and we are not letting you interview anyone. Mind you, we're at the 48-hour mark. Betsy's in LA running around going to MLB All-Star games and home run derbies and team outings and biking events and whatever.
Just living my life.
Living your life. And I'm here in Cleveland, it's like 7 p.m. Where am I going to go? And CVS, everyone's like, oh no, you got to have an appointment. I'm like, well, what am I supposed to do? So I go to like a weird minute clinic, and they're like, well, we can only test you if like you're having symptoms. I'm like, yeah, I've had this sore throat.
You like did have a sore throat for like 7 years.
I did. So. I was like, yeah, it's like my throat, this cough. Luckily, they gave me the test. I'm negative. You were running around LA.
My situation was actually so shitty because, again, we had no idea we had no idea we were going.
We had no idea anything.
But then we hear we have to get this test. So I am at an actual event with partners where there are these people from ESPN speaking. It's like this whole thing at this taco spot. I am having a lovely margarita, trying to eat something. And I hear that we have to do this. So I literally have to run all over LA. I don't know where anything is. Yeah. I walked into this place. I am like sweating, like basically crying at this point. I don't have my insurance card. They're like, it's gonna be $700 if you don't have your insurance card. I was like, well, I don't know what to do. So anyway, I figure it out. We get it. It comes back negative. Isn't it a bitch? We didn't even have to show the thing when we got there.
Okay, so then we'll get there. But yeah, we get there. Betsy couldn't find her email, and so I screenshotted my results, and I just sent it to her. I'm like, if worst comes to worst, maybe they won't look. She literally shows my screenshot of my negative test. I'm like, great, come on in. She's like, I literally ran my ass around LA, sweating, leaving a partner event, leaving this big ESPN get-together.
Zero tacos I got that day.
Had to pay money.
Nightmare. Total nightmare.
Didn't even need it.
But worth it.
Worth it because we were negative, and you know, it would have been the worst case scenario if they actually checked your shit.
So we were ready to go. Day of, mind you, again, I'm wildly organized.
Yep.
And just in case we were going to go to this event, I had contacted makeup artists in LA prior to. There's like a million of them.
this is where we're weird. Like
I
me,
know.
my first thought is, I'm gonna drive 2 hours to get like a $10,000 gown to wear to this because I need to make sure my body and dress looks amazing. And Betsy's like, well, I don't wear makeup. I'm gonna spend whatever it costs to get my makeup done. I'm like, oh, I'm good there. I'll do it myself.
Yeah. So I contact this girl. She's like, great, whatever. I can fit you in. Bridget says like she doesn't want it. So we wake up in the morning. And this is ESPY day. We are ready. We're so pumped. I got the makeup girl coming for me.
We know that we have a videographer.
We have a videographer who's going to be in LA. Bridget goes and gets the bottle of champagne from downstairs. We're about to start drinking. My makeup team gets there. And I walk downstairs. She's like, hey, can you come get us? And I'm thinking, who's us? Like, what are you talking about? Her and her assistant walk in. Lighting, suitcases. I'm like, God, I don't need that much. Like, Jesus.
You're like, I'm not that ugly.
I was like, okay. I was like, oh, great. Nice to meet you guys. I was like, the room is like as big as a typical closet. So I don't know how we're going to fit this in there. They come upstairs and they set up. It is like a movie scene.
Mind you, I don't know what's going on up there. She's texting me like, wow, there's like a lot happening up here. I'm like, all right, well, great. I'll bring up the champagne in a moment. And I'm in, like, ready to party and, like, get ready for the ESPYs. I walk in. Betsy sitting in a chair, hair pulled back, these crazy lights all set up, assistant lining up all the different foundations, all the different lipsticks. I'm like, who the hell are you? Like, a Kardashian? And you're like, yeah, what? And you're like, what are you going to do? You're going to go in my bathroom and do your own makeup? And I'm like, hey, do you guys have time for me?
So thank God.
She did have time for me.
So, they were amazing. Bridget and I are, like, having the best time taking our videos. Rob Lorenzo.
We're like taking videos because Rob's like texting us like, send me videos. I'm like, of what? Like, Betsy's getting her makeup done and I'm like putting in clip-in extensions. Like, I don't even know what's happening. He's like, yeah, send it. Listen, this is when we know like we need to get better at content creating because he put in a great little pre-ESPYs video and people loved it.
Like, I was telling Rob this today, actually. I feel like every moment of our lives
could be content.
It's just...
It's a lot.
Well, okay, so this is a total side note, but you know we like make fun of people who sit at dinner and don't talk, and you're like, you are really not enjoying, and they're taking photos and they're like taking videos, and I'm like, so seemingly your life looks so cool on social media, but I actually want my life to be cool and enjoyable, and if we videoed every second of everything, we'd be like unhappy.
I agree. But I do think that if we want to be rich and famous, we need to get a little bit better at it. Like, for instance, we were at like a fancy dinner and Rob like messaged me. He's like, this is TikTok material. I'm like, what?
I know. God, Rob, don't you have anything to do? Like,
He's like, you get a selfie video and explain the situation. I'm like, well, I'm in bed now. I'm not there anymore. But okay, hindsight, I'll think about this stuff.
Like, so what I think what actually makes sense is for us to get rich first, so we can hire somebody to be with us,
just like follow us around
all time.
Just follow us around.
We don't want to do it, but we did. We did for the ESPYs because we knew this is like going to be huge for us.
And Rob, I know you're not on microphone, but just give me a nod, yes or no. When Betsy and I are rich and famous and we're making so much money and we offer you more money than you make here at ESPN Cleveland, would you be dedicated to Almost Rich, Almost Famous and follow us around and edit TikToks and YouTube Reels and all these things together for us?
No.
Oh,
even if it's a lot of money?
No, I want to facilitate a team.
Like, he would facilitate a team.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Okay, well,
but yeah,
great.
I would do that.
So is it because you would just get annoyed being with us so much?
No, I think I like the ideation of all of it.
He has bigger aspirations.
Yeah, bigger aspirations than being our videographer and following us around.
Yeah, I wonder if he'll say the same thing when we're making $1 billion. Yeah,
and we're like, and he's like, hey guys, I'll take it back. I want to work with you. And we're like, well, no, you said no. Don't you forget.
Yeah, don't you forget.
Back in August of 2022, you were like, I'm good.
No, I want to curate a team for you guys. All right, cool. We'll give them the millions then. Bye. All right.
So actually, one of the best parts of the ESPYs, which I know people don't care about that we're listening, was the whole getting ready part.
Yeah.
I was having a blast. We're dancing. We had a bottle of champagne. We have our makeup done. And honestly, I've gotten my makeup done so many times. And for any of the makeup artists that have ever done my makeup, please don't take offense to this, but a lot of times I'm like, this is just too much. And I get it, I'm on stage, I'm hosting something, but like, I don't want to go out in public like this. I look crazy.
Yeah.
So that's why I was a little hesitant on getting it done. But I expressed this to our wonderful Amy, who did our makeup. And I was like, listen, I just don't want to look like a drag queen.
Yeah.
I don't like contour me too much. Like, I want to look like me.
Yeah.
She understood that assignment. I can't lie. I got out of that chair and I went and looked in the mirror and I was like, oh, I'm the most beautiful person I've ever seen.
So, and most of you guys don't know this about Bridget because she is so beautiful. She has never said that in her whole life. She's never looked in the mirror and said like, wow, I look amazing. She got out of the chair and I could tell she was like nervous, like, oh shit, I have to go see what I look like. And you looked in the mirror and you were like,
I didn't know my face could look like that.
that's what you said. I didn't know my face could look like that.
And I was like, should I just take a photo and like go to like a doctor and say like, can you make me look like this like all the time? Because I'm not gonna have Amy. But like, this is the reason why I needed to get it done is because, well, Betsy, you're just like so pretty without any makeup, and I'm used to seeing you like this. But then when you add makeup, it's just like a little too much for me to handle. I'm like, I can't even make eye contact with you. Like, you're so stunning. I'm like, Amy, you gotta squeeze me in. You gotta do something. Like, I cannot be standing next to her looking like that.
Well, it was so good, you guys. I'm just going to fast forward for 1 second. It was so good that Bridget and I both slept like this and wore it the next day. Like,
Well,
I'm not
I mean,
washing that shit off.
no.
I should at least get 2 days out of
Exactly.
it. So
Get our money's worth too.
Get our money's worth, I know.
Yes. So we're feeling
Shit's not
ourselves.
cheap.
We put on our dresses and we like, it's very rare that we both are like, okay, we look good, we
Yeah.
feel good. It was just like the
get out
perfect
there.
mood. Yes, we feel amazing. So we get our Uber, going to the ESPYs, on our way to Hollywood to the Dolby Theater for the 2022 ESPYs.
And
We're
you know I'm
feeling so
extra.
great.
I'm so extra, and I'm like, okay, so we're gonna get dropped off. We have to like keep this whole thing going. Let's get like a fancy Uber Black.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's $75, but like we can't get dropped off in a fucking Honda.
No.
You know, like looking all like this.
And I agreed with you. Usually I'm like, Betsy, come on, let's be practical.
More cost
Yes.
efficient.
Yes, but this time I'm like, yep, do it up, get it.
So we get dropped off. So again, Bridget and I don't totally know a ton about LA, but we get dropped off on Hollywood Boulevard, but like the street's closed. So he has to drop us off, and it is packed. By the way, streets are packed. Like people are looking at like the stars, like everyone's just out there, and we're like, okay, well, like this is fine. Bridget's like in this $10,000 gown. I'm just like my face is done. We look like lunatics, and we're walking down Hollywood Boulevard,
And it's like
trying to
90
get to the
degrees,
ESPYs.
too.
90 fucking degrees.
Well, the thing is, our Uber driver, yeah, he stops, and we're like, well, no, it's down there. He's like, well, the road's closed, so you'll just have to walk. It's right there. And even me, I'm like, I don't wear heels very often.
Yeah.
I'm like, this just seems like a lot. So we're like freak shows, walking down Hollywood
We were.
Boulevard. I'm like, what is going on? So we like see the tent, ESPYs, great. So we come up, we're like, hi, we're just looking where to go. And she goes, oh, are you seat fillers? What? I didn't even know what that was. I'm like, do I fucking look like a seat filler?
We have jobs. Like, can we not be cute and have jobs? Like, real jobs? I understand we're in LA and most people here don't have actual jobs, but like, we do. All right, lady, like, give us a break. It was
offensive.
mortifying.
Yes.
Very offensive.
I said, no, media. And she goes, oh, media. Well, then, yeah, you're going to have to go to level 3. Well, why are you giving me that attitude? Like, it's so
Very
shocking.
weird. Shocked.
Like, we look like we should belong on the red carpet to do interviews. Doesn't even make sense to me.
That was really weird. We ended up finding our spot. All right. So this is our first red carpet. I have watched red carpets for as long as I can remember. Juliana Rancic on the red carpet with Ryan Seacrest all over E. Like, I have dreamt of this moment, okay? Unfortunately, we're not E at this point. Like, they have that setup. You know, E has that setup.
desk, yeah.
Yeah, they have a desk. They have the whole thing. They're like, okay, you guys are right here. And we're like, well, how do we fit? Like, there are people this close together. They're like, yeah, you're right here. Okay, cool, great. We're going to work it out.
Well, and me, first of all, when we walk in, I am like taking it all in too. I'm like, this is it. I look back at Betsy, I'm like, this is it. We've made it. We are rich and famous. First of many. This is just going to keep happening every weekend. Great.
Every weekend.
And then, yeah, when they escort us to our little spot, I'm like, we're both standing there. Mind you, our like videographer's not there yet. We have someone from ESPN LA joining us. I'm like, what?
How are we fitting?
How are we fitting? I'm like a tall lady too. I'm like, how are we both gonna fit in camera when we're this close together and try to like squat, try to take off my heels, and then it's like roped off. So this is like what people don't realize in the red carpet, which I didn't either.
Same.
I thought it was just like the celebrities, the attendees, the athletes, whoever is there is like going and just like stopping, or you call them over like, hey, come talk to us. Oh, no, like you're behind a rope. Like you don't get to actually be on the red carpet. The celebrities are on the red carpet, and you just have to hope you can snag an interview.
Right. And so the other interesting part I thought was, so as we're standing there, we finally get all set up, we're ready to go, and the publicists start coming down the red carpet, and they're like, hey, do you want so-and-so? they did X, Y, and Z. And so you have the ability to say like yes or no. Okay.
Which I think I felt bad.
Horror. Because
So
I'd be like the high school athlete of the year. We were like,
or it would be like some like gymnast that won the Olympics, but I'm like, I don't know who that is. We both did it. We would blame it on Carlo, our videographer. I mean, Carlo, what do you think? And he'd be looking at us like, well, do you want him or not? We'd give like the wink, like, and then he'd be like, no, we're good, thank you. Like, yeah, he said no.
yeah,
It's all him.
we had a lot going on. Carlos said no. If you have a problem, take it up with him.
Yeah, I mean, there's like MMA fighters, UFC fighters. Like, I don't know who you are. I wouldn't know what to ask.
Right. Yeah. So that was the most interesting thing to me. Like they come over and say, we have so and so. Do you want them?
Yes.
So like we knew there were going to be some big names on the carpet, and like I think the ones we talked. First of all, we haven't talked about this. Where the fuck was Joe Burrows?
Oh.
Where was he?
Where Burrow. His name is Joe Burrow. You cannot be his biggest fan and say that you love him if you don't even know his name.
I do know his name, Bridget. I think it sounds better with an S at the end. So I'm just
well,
trying to.
It doesn't. His name is Joe Burrow, and like she kept saying that all week. Like, oh, people, who do you want to meet on the red carpet? And she's like, Joe Burrow. So I'm like, okay, can you? You get like mortified with me when I say like corny, dumb shit all the time. I am mortified with you, and you're like, I would love to meet Joe Burrow. So I'm like, oh my god, I'm so embarrassed for it. It's Burrow.
Like, Bridget, I understand that it's Burrow, but I think Betsy Burrows sounds better than Betsy Burrow.
There's something wrong with you. He's also like 12 compared to you. So, yeah. But he didn't win the award. I think he was nominated for Comeback Player of the Year, which he should have won. He took this team to the Super Bowl. Like, he actually should have won.
So he wasn't there. So that was like kind of like a shift. So then we were like, well, Lil Wayne's going to be here.
Yeah.
So that's the other thing about red carpets. Not everyone who's attending does the red carpet. You have the option. Like, do you want to do the red carpet? Do you not? So we saw Lil Wayne walk by. Didn't get him because he wasn't doing any interviews, but we did get some.
Little guy, by the way. I get his name now. Lil Wayne.
Lil
guy.
Lil guy.
He's real. I mean, I know I'm tall, but he walked by. I'm like, whoa. He's very short.
He is really short, but I also think that lean has him like super hunched now. I think he's just like gotten
the lean. The lean? Is that what you said?
I'll talk about it a different day.
Wait, the lean.
The lean. The lean? Like what? The lean.
Like, I literally, when you say lean, I'm thinking like a lean back. And I'm like, no, that's wrong song.
When you're talking about that corny shit, like, because I say Burrows, like, you take the cake every goddamn time.
No, Betsy. Literally, when you said lean, I'm thinking in my head, like, tracking all Lil Wayne songs. Like, I go, now lean back. Lean.
Yeah,
I'm like,
wait,
that's
not Lil Wayne.
I know.
That's not even his song.
I know. So then I'm like, wait, that's not even his song. So what lean are you talking about? That would, like, stunt his growth.
I think you missed like everything in life.
Is the lean a drug that I don't know about?
Yeah, literally, it's a whole conversation for a whole nother day. Let's get Lil Wayne on to talk about the lean, like explain what it is.
Oh my gosh, I'm very curious.
You know when they talk about like their like purple drink?
Yeah, I was just gonna say, like, is this equivalent to purple drink?
Yes, it is the equivalent to the purple drink.
Oh man, Lil Wayne, this whole time I just thought you just came from a short family.
Okay. I think you really did come from a short family too. All right.
Between the lean and short family,
okay,
yeah, no chance. No chance.
No. All right, let's keep it moving.
Okay, keep it moving. So we didn't get Lil Wayne.
Sure did.
However, so there's people, mind you, we're with ESPN LA teammates too, so they're so focused on like getting the Rams and like everyone that's involved in LA, and we are looking at different people, which end up working out great.
It did.
But like, you know, Carlo, he would be like, no, we don't need them. I'm like, no, we actually do.
For example,
T.O., what's his real name?
Okay.
Terrell.
Okay, but Bridget goes, hey, Terrell, over here. And he walks over and he goes, it's Terrell.
Yeah. Okay, so this is another interesting part about the red carpet. So a lot of people do have PR people and come over and say, hey, they're on their way. They'll be here in like 30 seconds. Do you want them? Which was great because then we knew who was coming.
Right.
Chance to prepare. T.O. is just about to walk right by. And I'm like, no, you guys, I have to talk to him. I was at his birthday party in 2010. Carlo's like, okay, if you feel the need. So I go, hey, Terrell. Terrell. I was like, Terrell over here. He stops in his tracks. It's Terrell. I'm like, oh, okay, can I just call you T.O.? Sure, he's pissed.
Yeah, no, he's like actually
mad.
Pissed.
Mad.
Like he's like looking around, like, can somebody fucking come get me? Like, this
Yeah.
girl is just so goddamn annoying. But then he got into it.
Yeah, and I'm
Then
like,
he got
harassing
it.
him. Like,
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
come this way. And so I'm like, okay, sorry for mispronouncing your name, but do you remember me? And he got so uncomfortable. He's like, I mean, what, was it here? And I was like, no, birthday party 2010. And he's like, you're asking me if I remember you from 12 years ago. Well, I feel like I'm pretty memorable. I was like Miss Ohio that year.
God, that was your year.
Prime year.
Wasn't it? Like, when you think about the
2010 to
best year of your
2012.
life. Yeah,
No, sorry,
2012.
prime years.
2012.
Prime years. And so I am. He's like, no, I don't remember you. So then I'm thinking he probably just doesn't
Yeah.
remember the party.
Yeah.
But no, he's like, oh yeah, bowling alley, Cincinnati. I'm like, oh. He's like, Ocho Cinco. Was it? I'm like, oh, so you do remember. You just don't remember me.
Well, maybe it was that, or maybe it was the second time you called him Terrell.
I called
Or
it
Terrell.
I
The
did.
second time you called
I
him
know,
Terrell.
I
He
did
was
it
like,
again.
it's Terrell.
And I'm like, T.O., that's it. I'm sticking with it. Just we're going to keep it in the safe zone. T.O. T.O. is it.
He was good, though. He ended up being good after you started calling him T.O. and like,
Yeah, we ended up bonding. And if you guys haven't checked out, we did post some of our interviews. So check it out, @almostrich_almost famous on Instagram, Almost Rich Almost Famous on YouTube, TikTok. Just type in Almost Rich Almost Famous. You'll find us. But it was a very funny edit of that interview because I start the interview with, do you remember me? And then later Betsy asked the question, what's the worst red carpet question you've ever been asked? And he said, probably, do you remember me from 2010? So I mean, he should never forget me now.
Yeah.
I can go down in history as asking the worst. Girl didn't know my name and she asked me if I remember her from 2010. I don't know how, that's pretty unforgettable to me.
Me too.
So he was great. Another one was Amon Shumpert. Again, ESPN LA team, they're like, no, he's in the NBA right now. I'm like, 2016 Cleveland, Ohio. Come over here, Shump. he was into that.
You did.
But he perked up when I said 2016
Well, he
Cleveland.
did. I mean, I'm sure it was one of the best years of his life. So, by the way,
he did say that.
Yeah, well, like for sure. But he's been in like, so I don't know if whatever he's doing now, but he does like he has a podcast. He's like a pop culture person. He's married to Tiana Taylor, who's a singer and has like the hottest
body,
most wild body I've ever seen in my whole life. He delivered his kid. Don't you remember that? Like she had like the kid on the bathroom floor and he like delivered it.
Yes, that was in Cleveland, I think.
That was weird.
It was.
Yeah. How do we not ask about that?
I don't know.
That
well,
was like,
I feel like that's pretty personal.
Why did he share it then?
Yeah,
like
true.
it's all over the
True.
Whatever.
True. Okay, but what I'm bringing it up because you call me corny all the time. Shump was on my side. So we're reminiscing about 2016.
But Bridget, sorry. Why are you pretending like this is like the first time people who listen to our podcast have heard this joke? Because like, if somebody said, okay, what is the most annoying thing Bridget says over and over and over and over and over again when LeBron James is brought up? Everyone would know this is what you're going to say. So just go ahead, give it to him.
Well, just in case this is the first time anyone's tuning in.
Don't forget it. Please don't forget it. I don't want to hear her say it again.
Don't forget it. We're reminiscing. He set me up so perfectly. So we're blaming Shump for this one because he just set me up to say it. He's talking about LeBron, how special it was to be on the team with him when he brought a championship to his home city. He loves Akron, Ohio so much. He wanted to bring a championship to the city of Cleveland, and he did. And I said, you know, Shump, we'll never forget it. It was one of the best years of my life, too. Thank you for being a part of it. I know LeBron isn't here tonight, but if he was walking down on the red carpet and was not doing interviews, but I said, hey, LeBron, we're just a couple of kids from Akron. Do you mind stopping? Chump's face was, oh, for sure. For sure he would come over. And as I'm looking at Betsy, rolling her eyes, never been happier. Yep, Bets, he sure would have. He for sure would have came over.
I'd also never like to hear you do that again.
Not one of my best
like,
imitations.
When I go to hell, that is like the sound that I will hear over and over and over again.
A couple kids from Akron and for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. But I mean, look back at our video again, you guys, and that is how he said it.
All right, well, I have to go back and listen to that because I don't remember that.
Yeah. Nope. And he said, only if you guys are actually from Akron, said born at Akron Medical Akron General Medical Center, just like LeBron and Steph Curry, which, by the way, we saw him too.
We saw him too. We didn't talk with him, but
No.
him and his wife and his kids were all there. They were super cute. The other people who walked by that looked amazing were Sierra, obviously insane, with Russell, who's like...
Russell's like little guy too. That's like my biggest takeaways. All these people that I see on TV, I see on social media, I don't know why I just assume they're tall. They're not. And so Russell Wilson was pretty shocking to me.
Yeah.
Sierra, I knew she was beautiful and that she had an amazing body. Like, even better in person. And she was so cute and she did her little booty pop dance. I was like, I want to marry you.
Do you know who was not a little guy?
Who? I'm trying to think.
John Hamm.
Oh.
What a fucking dreamboat that guy is.
Like, I had hearts in my... I was the emoji. I'm looking at him, my heart's in my eyes.
He's so magnificent looking.
He's one of those universally good-looking people, whether you're a dude, whether you're a girl, whether you're into short, tall, white, black, Asian. It doesn't matter.
You know who else? The other person that was insanely good looking in real life was from Dancing with the Stars, PETA. And the most lovely woman you'd ever meet. Just like the
girl crush,
nice,
for sure.
Yeah. Like, and I don't even watch Dancing with the Stars. I like watch it now just to like see her. Like,
so I'm obsessed with that show, and they were actually our first interview of the night. So we're on the red carpet, and again, a PR person comes over and says, Max and PETA are over there, do you want to talk? Carlo's about to say no, you're about to be like, I don't know who that is, and I'm like, Max and PETA are here, and they're both like, what? Yeah, and I'm like, we will take that interview, yes, and I'm like, oh my god, Dancing with the Stars, they're coming over. Through the pandemic, Max and his brother, they would do these dances in their driveway, like just so sexy, like when a guy can dance. I was obsessed, would watch them. Like, I'm having a bad day, I'm like, let me go to Max's Instagram real quick and just check this video out.
It's very weird.
So I was more like crushing on him. Like, PETA's a phenomenal dancer, but I didn't know. She's pretty on TV. She's one of those people, like, TV does not do her justice. She walked up, I was like, I told her, I'm like, you are the most beautiful person I've ever seen. And she was so sweet.
She was so sweet. That like made me just like obsessed with her, how cool she was. We had really fun questions for them. So again, if you guys haven't tuned into that, make sure you watch. Those are my favorite ones.
But Max is also another one I had in my head that he was like 6'4".
Not.
No. Shocking.
Little guy.
All of them are so
little.
little.
Max.
They're all little people. It's so weird.
Yeah.
Back to John Hamm really quick though. So again, on this red carpet, typically PR people come over, but if you really want an interview, it's not wildly inappropriate to call them out, kind of like Terrell, whatever, T.O., what I did for him. So I'm like the one out of the duo that does that. Betsy will ask the hard-hitting questions, the off-the-wall questions, but she's never going to be like, hey, can you come talk to us?
No.
That's where I come in. So for John Hamm, he's literally right next to us. It's some news station next to us, and then it comes to Almost Rich, Almost Famous. So we're ready. Like, his next stop is for us. However, his PR person never asked if we wanted to talk to him, so I knew, like, well, I'm just going to have to get on myself. He ended it. We literally made eye contact, and he gave me a smile, and I was like, I was left speechless. I couldn't speak. Like, literally, I had the heart eyes in my, like, the emoji in my eyes, and I was like, Betsy, I literally couldn't even speak. I'm still mad about it.
I was going to say, like, I'm, like, sad we're even talking about it, because I know it's, like, your actual biggest regret in life. Like, if anyone ever asks you that question, that's it.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
I'm appalled with myself.
Yeah. God, he's so handsome.
He is so handsome. Who else did we talk to that was great, though?
We talked to the Austins.
Oh, yeah, Denise Austin and her daughter, Katie Austin.
So explain who Denise Austin is.
I mean, Denise Austin basically created aerobics in the 80s.
Yeah.
Like, her and Jane Fonda. Those are like the two names you think of. That's how she was well known. She was put on the map. Like, that's what people did as a workout in the 80s was only aerobics. So her daughter, Katie Austin, she's a great content creator, influencer now too. I've been following her for a while. They were so funny and so lovely. Awesome mother-daughter duo.
It was, like, I would say overall, it was the best red carpet experience we could have gotten because it wasn't overwhelming. It wasn't, like, crazy. We kind of got to get our feet wet, like, realize what was happening on the red carpets and moving forward when we're working the Grammys, when we're working the Oscars, which, by the way, that will be my, like, I knew I made it when I was on the, like, Oscar.
Yeah, and that's coming soon.
Next.
Okay, I do have to just be like a little bit negative though. The worst part of the experience for me. Yeah. You know me. One of my biggest pet peeves in life is when people copy me. Like,
oh God.
And people are always like, "Oh, imitation is the best form of flattery." I'm like, "Yeah, not here. Like, compliment me. then if I see you do the same thing, then like it makes it a little bit better. But without acknowledging that you're stealing something from me or my friend and co-host.
All right, so like just so everyone knows, Bridget and I are following kind of like a guideline right now. Like, okay, so these are the things we want to talk about. This is not on the list. This was not on the list. We actually talked about like let's just not. Let's not talk about it.
I won't call out names, but it was very, very irritating. So Betsy and I pride ourselves on being out of the box. Like we don't want to go and ask like, oh, who are you wearing? Like everyone's gonna ask that on the red carpet. Like, oh, why are you here? What are you looking forward to most? How do you think Steph Curry's gonna do as host? Like boring. They've gotten asked that 17 million times on this red carpet. We want to stand out and be fun. So we had come up with questions, and then when the PR people would come over and say so and so's coming over, we do a little research. I'm like, oh, this will be funny. Like Tio, I'm bringing up a birthday party from 2010. That's funny.
Yeah.
So Betsy comes up with this whole concept before we go that why don't we play a game with everyone, because it can go with whoever we're talking to. And it's that trending game right now. She's a 10, but, or he's a 10, but, and then you say something that's actually annoying, and then like what would they actually be rated? So we're having fun with it. Then all of a sudden, the person right next to us comes up, asking all the boring questions like everyone else is doing. And then all of a sudden I hear, all right, she's a 10, but, and I'm like, oh my, what? And Betsy's like, it's fine, it's annoying. So then I hear it again. But then it's like the actual, it's like one thing to do, she's a 10 but, and like come up with your own thing afterwards. So the one I kept asking was, she's a 10 but she's taller than you. Because I'm a tall lady, that's a good one. Okay, I hear that. Okay, she's a 10 but she's taller than you. I literally look at, like, I couldn't even control my face.
She couldn't.
And he saw my face. He's like, oh, yeah, I stole that one from you. I'm like, oh, well, you actually stolen everything from me. So, I don't know. And Betsy. And I'm like, that's, okay, I'm getting
She like actually is, but the other thing that you're forgetting is the person on the other side of us.
Well, I'm not forgetting. I was getting there. So then I asked T.O., because he claimed, he's like, I throw a good party. And I said, well, great, where's the after party tonight? He's like, well, I think Steph Curry's having one. I'm like, great, can we come? And he's like, you girls looking like that, you'll be able to get in. I'm like, all right, well, T.O., I'll see you there. You know, it's becoming a theme for us.
Yeah.
Every 12 years, we'll get together at a party. So then, and mind you, though, someone next to us is a very prominent news outlet.
Yeah.
Like, very big and national.
Yeah.
Next interview, I hear her, all right, so tell me, where's the after party at? I'm like, that's it. Like, here we are, people are looking at us like, oh, are you guys seat fillers? Oh, you came from Cleveland, Ohio to do this? Meanwhile, they're stealing all of our content.
Yeah.
Clearly we're doing something right.
So, I will still go under, like, we're just really good.
Well,
and so people, like, all right, so well, guess what? Next time they won't have us there, and we'll think of our own content and keep it to ourselves. We'll whisper it to them next time, so the people around us can't hear. Or, Bridget, actually better than that, when we're on the Oscar red carpet, we'll have our stage, and everyone will be far away, and so no one can take our questions.
we'll be like Juliana and Ryan. Like, we're very exclusive. Like, we're the mains.
Yeah, we're the mains. Well, we are.
Yeah.
Anyway, so not main enough, however, to get actually into the show, because we tried to sneak our way into the show, and they're like, oh, no, you can. We're like, all right, we'll like, go to a different area. We went upstairs. They're like, yeah, no, we like literally got denied every time we tried to get in, which, you know, makes us relatable to people.
Because we are usually pretty good at sneaking our way into everything. So
no, this wasn't happening.
And like after the first two tries, Betsy's like, it's fine. I'm like, one more. We're going up to level 4.
Yeah.
No way. I'm like, you know, they thought we were seat fillers at the beginning.
Yeah.
We'll just say like, yeah, we were told we were seat fillers, which we tried.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, that's weird because your badge says media, red carpet. We're like, yeah, but then they were like, oh, go be a seat filler. Like, well, then you need something that says seat filler. We're like, yeah, they didn't tell us. They're like, bye, girls. And we're like,
no, we were
so
like,
we're not
well,
quite there yet.
No, but
we're
like, then we try to do the whole like, well, that is so annoying because they told us to come up here, and like now we just walked a whole like way. Like, can you just let us in because this is getting really annoying? They're like, yeah, you guys are annoying.
Well,
Bye.
actually, Betsy's like, okay, if you're not gonna let us into the show, I'm about to pee my pants. Can I at least use the bathroom? I'm like, yeah, and I need to help her. So. Like, I'm thinking in my mind, we're going to leave and we're just going to go sneak in. Yeah. Literally, security guard waiting outside the bathroom. He's like, okay, ladies, now I'm going to escort you out. We're like, okay, thank you.
Like, taking us by the arm.
Okay, bye, thank you. And I'm like, damn, dude, I'm feeling like I'm on top of the world, like so rich and famous. People are stealing our content. That guy just brought us right back down to real life. Like,
almost.
Not quite
almost.
there. Almost. Forever and always. Almost.
Whatever. So then we went to Chateau Marmont, which is like amazing, and we had drinks for like hours and had the most lovely time.
Okay, I have to say something about that though too.
What?
So I hear that this chateau, whatever place is like so fancy. Betsy's like, it's like historical, like Madonna like sits here, like all these famous people. Like I was here before and Uma Thurman was here. And I'm like, okay, but Betsy, I'm literally in like a rhinestone gown. Like I look like I'm going to compete for Miss USA right now.
Yes.
And she's like, yeah, like, but whatever, like this is the only time we're gonna be able to get in, which we did. People are coming in their casual clothes. I'm getting up to go to the bathroom in this gown. No one bats an eye in LA. There's like, yeah, whatever.
They've seen it all. No one cares.
It's
Like
so
literally
interesting.
no one cares.
No, they didn't look at us as like, wow, they look so nice. They must be somebody's.
Yeah.
And they also didn't look at us as like, okay, girls, you overdid it for this fancy place. Like, no one even looked at us. And I'm like,
No,
LA's weird.
You know what they did do though, which happens just every goddamn time we go to LA? We're trying to take photos of ourselves, and they're like, this is a no phone zone. Put your phone away. We're like, oh my God, we're such fucking amateurs every time.
Although
it happens everywhere we go.
I did sneak that good one into view.
You did. Thanks for getting that
Yep.
one. Thanks.
Got that before the security guards came around. God, the security people just really were on to us.
And then, the finale really was going back to the hotel room, and
because also in LA, no one ever has food. We're at this fancy restaurant. We're like, so we get food. They give us a menu. You can get warm olives,
which we like.
shrimp cocktail,
Got it.
and hummus. I'm like, well, take all three. Yep, we'll take it all. So we leave. I'm like, Betsy, I could eat 17 more of those. Like, why don't people in LA eat?
Well, that's why they're all so thin.
Probably.
Truly.
So we're looking around for other restaurants. Like, yeah, we stopped serving food at 9. I'm like, I don't understand. So we had to go the old school Uber
trusty.
Eats, Taco Bell.
Uh-huh.
Ordered the entire menu.
Well, we did order the entire menu. It was also a very sobering moment to wake up to a fancy bottle of champagne and like Taco Bell wrappers
Everywhere.
And like, yep, almost.
Almost
Still
rich, almost famous. Like, if that's not
One
the
day.
definition of almost rich, almost famous, I don't know what is. A fancy bottle of champagne and Taco Bell wrappers to end the 2022 ESPYs first red carpet event. More to come.
What a time that was.
I know. All right, if you guys haven't seen our amazing interviews and fun content, again, keep up with us on social media. Subscribe to our YouTube page, Almost Rich, Almost Famous, Instagram, Almost Rich _Almost Famous, TikTok, Almost Rich, Almost Famous, and Twitter, ARAF _TLOD. Cheers.